In the meantime, we'll be reviewing some of your reactions to the major talking points this morning, and Jeffrey joins me to do just that. Hello again, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Bukola, absolutely. So, major talking point. Let's begin from what people have been talking about from yesterday, which has to do with the House of Representatives. Some members seeking a 6-year tenure for the president, rotation among zones, led by the representative from Idiato North and Idiato South constituency, Kenga Tenure. And this is your reaction, so let's get straight to it. Omo Kogi says, rotation among zones still won't eradicate nepotism. A particular zone will come to power and focus on its region, reigns and repeat. The best solution is a regional system or referendum. The earlier, the better.
Well, all legislations must go to the president for assent, and it'll be interesting if this scales second reading and is eventually passed by both houses. But what
it's beyond that. It has to pass both houses, go through the houses of assembly. When it comes to adjustment to the constitution, it's a very tedious process.
Absolutely.
The president is the last port of call.
So it's that last port of call that I'm talking about. So what would be the reaction from the presidency? Because everyone is affected in this.
He's been an advocate of restructuring.
Type of amendment.
Absolutely.
Are you holding the presidency by the jugular, Jeffrey? But let's go to the next reaction. This one is from T.A. Omoroga, and they say a good one if the parameters are right, but there should be a clause for tenure that has bad statistics 3 years into their reign.
Okay.
I'm sure they're talking about development there.
Yep. So a cut-off officer says, which one is 6 years? Why not 4? 4 years old, or may you just forget them, something like that. Let's go back to regional government, or 2 years for president, total of 4 years.
Okay, this one is from Valencia.
A lot of political scientists.
Quite a number of them. Let's go to this one from Valencia Cute, who says, is this really the best way to go when we have critical issues facing the nation? Why not tackle the issue of insecurity, economic hardship, unemployment, poverty, and hunger facing the land, instead of addressing unnecessary issue that won't benefit or show that would not benefit the common masses? I believe that's what they're trying to say. At
the end of the day, people are beginning to get weary of some states. When I say states, country now, when they rethink democracy. Should we do parliamentary system? Should we do a hybrid? People are just looking at ways to just better society. So, hey, at the end of the day, it's a proposal. Whether it will follow through or pass through is a different kettle of fish. But let's go to another issue you've been talking about, and that is the face-off between Labour and federal government over the wage dispute. Federal government is saying, we will do 2K, extra. Let's add 2K extra to your 60,000. So the government versus Labour at the end of the day are in dispute over how much should it be. The governors have come to say, even the 60,000 you talked about, we cannot pay. Well, let's see what Collins Opara is saying. These amounts are an insult to hardworking individuals trying to survive on Tinubu's economy. That's how you refer to it. They should resume the strike on Tuesday, which is today. Today is the deadline, by the way. The government needs to stop playing games and offer a fair, livable wage immediately. This disrespect to the workers cannot continue.
The deadline ends midnight today, I believe.
Yep.
This next one is from Emre Owolabi, who says, please just make sure you don't get close to the national grid. Commence your strike in peace. 62,000 naira is low in this current economy. If the economy of the country is on a good side, 62,000 naira isn't bad. I believe that that's a big cause of concern for many Nigerians, particularly after the last strike when the national grid was shut and it was bad for the economy.
So there's a big argument between the people. There are three parts to this argument: the tripartite committee, private sector, federal government, and Labour. When the SGF came and said treasonable felony, offered the turning off the national grid is treasonable felony, and then Senate President says it's sabotage. Labour is saying, what is the biggest sabotage? Just to put off the national grid, or the money the political class has been stealing from the system? So we are going to explore that conversation someday. What is really sabotage at the end of the day? Adeleke says 62,000 offered by FG. Oh boy, I say satanic. However, the 250,000 demanded by NLC is on the high side given the available resources. Both sides should find a middle ground. Government should look beyond the minimum wage by providing subsidies in mass transportation and working on fiscal policies that will bring relief. In London, for instance, is making a comparison now. The maximum you can pay on transportation in a day is 5.25. That's £5.25 distinction in respect of the number of trips. Government should look at those things that eat into workers' salaries.
Perhaps this would be a good time, to call on the political class to lead by example by cutting the cost of governance.
Exactly.
The figures came out at the beginning of the year when the budget was going in for appropriation, for deliberations for appropriation, and we saw how much was devoted to purchase of vehicles, how much was devoted for...
When Labour says that, they don't want to hear anything else.
It would just be only right, in line with the spirit of accountability and equitable distribution of resources for the political class to lead by example.
Bukola, let's go to the next one that has to do with this Rivers State, this Rivers issue, the never-ending drama. So yesterday, for context, the State High Court said that the 26 members who came to say they have defected, the president welcomed them, the members of the party in the state welcomed them, say, as far as there is no document in the books of the APC saying these are new members, or they don't have some level of documentation, let me just use that word because documentation is in various level, they have not defected. So that is what the judge decided yesterday. The Attorney General of the state is saying they clearly defected. In fact, Mr. Judge, sir, your lordship, you don't even have the jurisdiction to preside over this case.
Particularly when there is documentary evidence to prove their defection, and the lawmakers themselves have not denied that they have defected.
So it's a lot of things. That's why we call it the theater of the absurd when it comes to Rivers politics. But hey, Alabi Ayodiji says the only people that can determine if the lawmakers have decamped are their respective ward chairmen. They have to provide their letters of resignation from the party. Okay.
All right.
Next one.
We'll think about, let's chew on that one, Jeffrey. This one is from Adegbola Oladeshemola, who says, I'm not surprised by the judgment. I said it. The camping is not by I no go agree, or by television. It's by being a card-carrying member of another party. This case, Otilo, that's to say, another way of saying... in our local parlance. It's over and done with, right?
Yeah, so the Attorney General is also arguing. Let's read your thought. Letter of Blossom says, they resigned from the PDP by themselves based on the video and oral pronouncement by them. So whether this is admissible and justiciable is a different kettle of fish. The lawyers will tell us that. And the law now recognizes and admits electronic evidences. So it doesn't matter whether they went to APC, YPP, LP, or any other party for that matter.
Okay.
All right, we need the lawyers.
So just in the future, when a politician says, I have defected by themselves, don't believe them unless they show you their new ID
So the big
card.
argument is that when they were...
political party ID card.
Another argument is that when they were defending their defection in the Federal High Court, that their seats should not be declared vacant, what did they use to present as members of the new party? That's another conversation.
Absolutely.
Familiar spirit, Bukola.
That's the one I have next. And they say, okay, unless there is a resignation letter to the party which authenticates the defection, everything is just audio. They can defend it. I believe he's trying to say they can't defend it in court. This judgment has put Sim in a terrible position.
Okay.
But it's been a theater of some illegality in the last couple of weeks. The question is, will the state government comply by this court judgment by abiding by whatever resolutions that the State Assembly, led by Martin Amewule, propose or present? Jeffrey?
Well, let's see how it plays out. All of this, we've not even talked about issue of concurrent jury. Well, let's not go there. Benin Republic clips Super Eagles wings, defeat Nigeria for the first time. So that's a big conversation. Okay, no. Like, before we go to this issue, I want to really talk about the Super Eagles thing. So my head is just going there straight. But before we go there, let's talk about the protest in Ondo. EFCC had raided, I think, a club or so. And the young people were angry. So those are the young people angry. EFCC raiding, I think, a club, arresting about 127 of them. EFCC has responded as to why they did it, but the young people are not taking it. They are protesting. So those are them. Those are the young people marching on the streets of Akure.
So we see them there, dissatisfied.
So at the end of the day, Bukola, they say stop EFCC. Oh boy, this is stop EFCC brutality protest in Akure. So what made this trend beyond all is the fact that some people on social media are saying there are bigger fish to fry. Why always whoever the EFCC is going after?
Well, the truth of the matter is that if the EFCC is truly trying to fight internet fraud in Akure, they must do it, in a lawful manner, in line with the rule of law. There is a huge concern about youths, without legitimate forms of employment who, lodge permanently in hotels. But when it is done not in line with the rule of law, in a manner that offends or that abuses the fundamental human rights of young people, they will definitely come out and protest.
So at the end of the day, the youths were shouting. What about the issues of the Kogi State former governor, or the other states that what was the EFCC doing rather than chasing after all of us? Well, Adene Sukomi says, my own point is just that not all of them might be fraudsters. Some people attend the party to Benusi. Is that where you come? I don't know what that means. And especially when you get money, when you get money, go sharp flex. That's allow me to enjoy myself if I don't have so much money. It really EFCC have started the investigation by now. Some people will have been released by now. And
this one is from Shegun Adetula, who says, as much as I detest the style the EFCC adopts, I believe, to break into clubs and people's houses, the level of internet fraud is alarming and ridiculous. If they search the youths in this protest, 80% of them will be found wanting of internet fraud. Adetula says it's a fact.